Okay, guys. So, welcome to our day one of Take Back Your Health. And I am very excited for this 3-day workshop as I feel this is going to be a very powerful way for us all to be able to look at what changes we can make to help look at the big picture of what we need to be more focused on. And one of those very first steps that I try to teach on a regular basis is making this a lifestyle. This needs to be becoming a place of where we are getting out of our comfort zone, maybe getting out of the things that we are familiar with, and also stepping away from excuses. And what do I mean by that? So many times we allow our fears and our frustrations and failures from the past to control what we are able to actually take advantage of and be doing with our life and our health. Some of the common things that I tend to hear a whole lot of are things like I'm too busy and I've tried everything and being healthy is just too difficult. I don't have time for it. And there are so many solutions and options today that we can take advantage of. And honestly, I want you to look at what you guys are going to learn about. This is something that we are going to adapt as a lifestyle. We're not going to join another program. We're not going to join another diet. And we are going to find the right tools to help us be consistent with our efforts. Now, I want to highlight that word consistent because I feel like it is something that many of us also tend to neglect with meeting our goals is being consistent. So one of those first things, guys, of being consistent that you can start to work with is showing up for the next 3 days. So we have today, we have tomorrow, and we have Friday. There'll be some special prizes at the end. So I encourage you to make sure you are tuning in as much as possible to be a part of the gifts and prizes that will be done at the very end here. And as we are starting to focus here, guys, on what we are expecting here, that we want to make sure that we are taking all of these steps to help us live a long and healthy life. Now, I would love you guys at any point here to drop in the chat some questions you think about. And again, we're going to do a Q&A at the end, but also maybe something that, has helped you. Our goal is to work together, create a community that we can learn from and teach each other. So we're going to give you guys some action steps to work on at the very end here. And again, we'll have some giveaways coming up here, but we would love to see you guys sharing on social media. Would love for you to, share something you learned. More times you share, the more entries you'll get into our drawings. And this can be on Facebook or on Instagram. And be sure to complete your action item every day because there will be a special gift for those that do all 3 days. And I mentioned at the very beginning here, guys, consistency. This is just one step of showing we can be consistent is by completing these action items I'm going to ask you guys to be doing. So again, we have some great gifts coming up here, but just to do a quick introduction of myself here, guys. So I'm Amanda Villarreal. I live in Zeeland, Michigan. We have 5 children, ages 5 to 18, which our oldest will be graduating next week, which is crazy. And we are a busy family, an active family. And I have continued to work in the health and wellness industry for almost 30 years now. So my background varies from corporate wellness to owning my own studio to virtual training and classes. I'm a nutritionist. But all of it ties into the same goal and focus, which is teaching people how to take charge of their health, which is what this workshop is all about, guys. Now, some of the things that I have really learned throughout all of these years that I find people struggle with the most is keeping health simple. And I believe that we overcomplicate this many times, and this is where we fall off and go up and down. And we notice the yo-yo cycle, the back and forth, and we're on a program, we're off. We found something that works and then it doesn't work. And this is why we need to figure out how we can take the steps to keep moving us forward, guys. Health is a lifestyle. You're going to hear me say that a few times throughout this workshop. We want to look at where we've been, where we're going, and we're never going to stop learning. We're never going to stop moving forward towards that next goal. Now, let me take you guys back a little bit to when I was first kind of evaluating, my own health situation and what kind of got me into doing what I am currently doing today. But at this time, I was in 7th grade and I was playing basketball. It was my favorite thing to do, actually basketball and softball. Well, my legs started to swell and I was really limping. And I finally, got to the point where I was like, all right, I need to go see another specialist for this rare vascular condition that I was born with. So went to the specialist, and this was the best vascular surgeon at U of M. And he said, you need to stop all sports, all activity, no more movement. You need to elevate your leg. You should not have kids. And you're probably going to lose your leg amputation by the time you'll be 18. And I will say that that was my moment of thinking my life was over. I should just stop everything. And again, I was 12 years old. And that really got me into the mindset of way back then, realizing, guys, that we can be an advocate for our health. I chose to take my health into my own hands. I chose to take all of those I can'ts and turn them into I wills. And that is something that I believe got me into the path of knowing that this is what I wanted to teach others, that we can do this together, guys. And fast forward to now, my degrees in corporate wellness. I have 11 different certifications for nutrition, for different specialty exercise, personal training. But this is what inspires me to keep going, guys, is to see people meeting their goals. And I never stop learning. I never stop growing. I will continue to focus on what I need to do to better serve others. And one of the pieces that I have found we need more of is what I said at the beginning also. We need simplified solutions. This means we need options that we can do anywhere and anytime. So guess what I've done now? Worked on evolving with the times. And now we're working on creating a brand new app and website that we are launching with this first challenge that you guys are going to learn about. But I want to kind of get you guys just thinking of a few things here as we continue to move forward. And I'm very big on education. The more that we learn, I 100% know the more that we can put what we learn into practice, which then helps us to meet our goals. And these are some things that I have learned throughout my years here in health and wellness that I really help to instill in others. And one, health isn't a goal you reach. It's the result of the lifestyle you live. Think about that for a second, guys. That next goal of I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to be able to fit into my wedding dress that I wore 30 years ago. Those goals are not optimal for the fact that they are very short-lived. What happens once you meet that goal? We need to keep focusing on those lifestyle choices that may help us get there. But ideally, it's what we are doing every day that's going to get us to those big long-term goals. If you have a chronic illness, number two, it didn't happen overnight. You're not going to fix it overnight. And why do I share this? I get so many people that come to me and they say something like, for example, I have high blood pressure, so my doctor put me on medication and I'm just going to be on that the rest of my life. So did that medication actually get to the problem? No, it's masking the symptoms. Did that high blood pressure happen overnight? Absolutely not. Did your extra 30 pounds you gained happen overnight? Absolutely not. So this is where we've got to look at these long-term solutions. We can't go back to these quick fixes that we know don't work and that are not sustainable. Number three, health isn't just about your body. It's finding balance between your body, your mind, and your spirit. And I believe wellness is a big picture. And this is also what we are going to be working on throughout this program that we have coming up, is understanding which piece of wellness are you neglecting. Now, I will tell you guys that this changes, okay? You are going to see that throughout your life, where you are at is revolving. And sometimes that balance piece of what you need to be kind of bringing back into check is different than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But this is a process, guys. We have to keep learning. Number four, when one thing is out of balance, it affects everything else. This is so true, guys. It's all getting back into thinking about, what those habits are doing to our bodies to either bring us back to balance or pull us out. So we need to get back to that full spectrum of wellness. Number five, you have to start with a healthy foundation to build a healthy body. And it's never too late, guys. Our bodies, our cells, everything is changing every single day, and it is never too late. Let me share a quick story with you guys. This is my friend Catherine, she was a client that we got started virtually. And in 3 months, I've really found that 3 months seems to be a great place to make a ton of changes, guys. I don't believe 2 weeks gives us enough time. I don't feel like even 30 days does. There's so many different patterns of research has said it's 21 days, it's 180 days. But I have found for long-term success, 3 months seems to be a pretty good place to create new habits and work on strategies that incorporate a healthier lifestyle. And she was a perfect example of this. Someone that travels for work, she's gone 3 days a week, and oftentimes it's out of the country. So she deals with different time zones. She has a very busy and hectic schedule. And again, there's the key word again, busy. She took her health into a place of where she was downward spiraling to the fact that she had so much inflammation. She woke up in the mornings, she could hardly get out of bed. She had every excuse possible, but she got tired of feeling tired. And that was her moment of, all right, I need to do something. Anyways, reached out to me, and we have in a matter of 12 weeks had drastic improvements. But here's what I really want to highlight here, guys. I'm not saying that our goals should be revolved around weight. Yes, you can tell in 3 months a very big difference, right? But it's also about how you feel. The fact that she could make it past 1 o'clock and not feel like she needed a nap, right? Or the fact that she would get to about 7 o'clock, and back before she had started making these changes, she would need another cup of coffee, not realizing that caffeine was disrupting her sleep. And that was in turn totally affecting her energy in the morning. And that also created inflammation in her body, which is why she didn't feel good when she woke up in the morning. So these changes, guys, are sustainable. And here's what we noticed. If we can find options that simplify our life and our health, guys, we're going to continue with them. Okay, this is where we have decided to move in the direction of creating an app, because I do feel like our phones are something we have by us and with us at all times. So we can take out that excuse of saying, I don't have access to work out, I don't have access to move. This is one way that we can make life easier, is by using things that we already have. Now, here's some of the reasons you guys might be here right now. Maybe you've tried a lot of things in the past and you've been stuck. Maybe you're not getting results anymore. Maybe you've gained weight and you're kind of trying to figure out, how do I jumpstart my health again? But I want you to realize, guys, stop being so hard on yourself and realize that oftentimes what you need is some help. Okay. And this is where the we comes into place, that we need to work together to figure out the right solutions to take charge of your health. And now is a great time. Don't stop waiting, guys, for that next aha moment. I'll share kind of a little story with you that now I can laugh at, but at the moment, I will tell you guys, this was another one of those transformations that I had to work through because I didn't quite understand what was going to happen. But when I was 18, that is the first time I had surgery number 1 of now 15 major surgeries. And you can see in the picture there that this was a pretty intense surgery at Mayo Clinic. I had over 120 incisions done in my leg to help increase circulation. Now, the way that Mayo works is basically they do a procedure and then they send you home because you can't stay there. You have to come back and then you meet with your regular doctor. So I come home, I meet with my regular doctor here. And again, I was 18. I was just in college, just starting, figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. And this doctor here in town, the local physician, said to me, looking at your condition, looking at what they just did for this procedure, you need to stop exercising and you need to stop moving and you need to focus on taking care of yourself and elevating your leg at least 8 hours a day. So I laugh at that now because, of course, I didn't listen and knew that movement is good for circulation, right? So going back to Mayo, actually consulting with our doctor there, they said, absolutely not. You need to be moving. Activity is good for you. Total opposite of what another physician had told me. So here's an example of taking health into your own hands, guys. This was a workout we just led this past summer where we had several hundred people that we taught how to move. We did a workout, and all coming from a place where, again, I was told I shouldn't exercise anymore. So guys, when we talk about health as a lifestyle, how do we do this? This isn't a matter of saying it's all or nothing. Okay. I want you to be thinking about, and again, please guys, ask some questions related to this topic. But when we look at these pieces, is it our diet? Is it our exercise? Is it our community? Is it our family? Is it you're working too much? Is it your thought process, your attitude, your mindset? There are so many pieces to this that we have to keep working to figure out the place that we can get to be our healthiest possible self. Now, I wanted to share with you guys a few recent statistics because I feel that these are mind-blowing, that really put into place here why we need to seriously take this into consideration, that if we don't start making changes now, you're going to pay for it later. And here are some recent statistics. 2 in 3 Americans are overweight or obese. Obesity means you're at least 30 pounds plus overweight. So 2 out of 3 of us. 1 in 3 people get the recommended daily allowance. What is the recommended daily allowance of physical activity? 3 days a week, a minimum of 20 minutes. That is not much, guys. And if we are not moving, think of all the things that are happening. There are new diseases now. There's a disease called sitting disease. We have so many chronic illnesses that are stemming from how we are living our life every day that it is creating long-term effects of things that could be reversed. Okay. So that last statistic there, 60% of Americans have a preventable chronic disease. 60%. That means we could reverse them just by changing our lifestyle, guys. 1/3 of Americans get nearly 60% of calories from junk food. Now, junk food is beyond just going out to eat. This means processed food. This means prepackaged options. And I am amazed to see how many people today actually don't know the basics of how to cook. They don't know what a meal should look like. And this is all, guys, getting back to a lot of the things of what we should see are getting back to basics. The rate of depression is at the highest it has ever been since 2008. 18% of Americans are chronically depressed. What does this lead to? Weight gain, to not sleeping well, to grabbing, the foods we become addicted to, sugar, processed foods, starchy, white flour products that we should not even be, incorporating into our diet. But what happens is we create a cycle. All right. And if we can't break that cycle, guys, you're going to keep seeing symptoms that continue to develop that over time then turn into disease. So here's what we need to do, guys. 1, you need support. You need tools. 2, you have to take action. This is all up to you, guys. Nobody can do this for you. Once you take action, you will get results. Simple lifestyle tips, guys. These, again, are not rocket science, but take a picture of this. I want you to remember these things, guys. Simple things like eating healthy food. What is healthy food? We need to get back to things God gave us are things we should be eating more of. If it grows on a tree, it grows from the ground, eat more of those things. If it comes in a package that the expiration date is years from now, probably not a good thing to be filling your body with. Drink more water. Simple, guys. I just had a client last week that we were looking at, evaluating her starting point. And this was very interesting after figuring out what her main consumption was of liquids. She drank 6 cups of coffee on average a day and Gatorade, 0 water. Think about the dehydrating effects of coffee and all the artificial things she's getting from Gatorade. Nothing to fuel her body, guys. Exercising regularly. Some of these things we don't like to do, guys, but we have to do them for our long-term health. Get enough sleep. The average American, they're saying now, only gets 5 to 6 hours of sleep. We need to be moving that up, guys. And again, I say no less than 7 hours is ideal. And we need to get away from skipping breakfast. We're going to be bringing that topic up again here coming up. But breakfast starts your day, guys. We cannot skip this. So I want you guys to work on an action item for me that I want you to email me. Again, you are taking action. I want you to choose one lifestyle change that you are going to implement today. All right. One lifestyle change. What is it going to be? It could be something very simple. If you got a big goal, love to hear it. Something big change you want to work on, but let's hear it. And that's going to get you an entry, guys, into our drawing coming up on Friday. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing prioritizing yourself. And this becomes, guys, by the end of tomorrow, a piece of what we can do as we prioritize ourselves to not make this feel overwhelming, but just making those small changes. Again, that's our goal here, is to make this simplified and to give you strategies to help you live your best and healthiest life. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up here for Q&A. Does anybody that's on here live have some questions or anything you would like to make sure that we address here before we go? All right, guys. Well, if you think of questions, I am here. And for the next 3 days, guys, we are going to be here as much as you need us. So make sure you email me. Again, your homework is to make sure that you go back to this one more time, share with us one lifestyle change you are going to implement today. If you are registered for this, you'll receive an email with the same Zoom link we use tomorrow, and you'll have another homework assignment tomorrow. But email me, avwellness@yahoo.com, and look forward to sharing with you guys more tomorrow. Have an amazing day, guys. Take care, and looking forward to hear your lifestyle changes you're going to implement. Take care, guys.